Mikasa is Sukasa, you know what I'm saying? I think it's
Shut up.
fine.
Well, welcome back, Response On players. We have more reveals for you in this episode. I think it's episode 18. Don't quote me on that. I'm not going to look it up.
It is.
It is. I said don't quote me on that. Oh, you didn't, but you looked it up. That's fine. Acceptable. Anyway, yeah, I'm Steph, and as you can probably tell, I'm sick, but I'm joined by...
I'm Jake. I'm still trying to find out where the Olympic wrestling is going to be taking place.
Andrew. Anyone else here screaming?
Brian, these togas are really comfortable.
And I'm James. Don't write down anything I say.
You know, Brian, these togas are very comfortable. That's because we're in the School of Athens, as you can tell, and the reason we're in the School of Athens is because we're all very smart philosophers who have objectively correct opinions all the time. And you would know that if you listen to the podcast.
You're doing now. So.
I don't think we've ever been wrong.
It's true.
Name one. Name one.
Yeah, name one. Let us know.
The tier list.
You'll be wrong, but name one.
First off, no. You were wrong at the tier list. That's
Name every incorrect thing that's ever happened in the world.
Do you think we're wrong? Name every incorrect thing.
Speaking of being objectively correct all the time, we're in about week 2, I think, of Titan reveals. Just like last week, we got some really awesome reveals again. We'll link all of the video reveals down in the description, so please go check them out. Give these guys some views, go like, subscribe, do all that other cool stuff. And we'll start out pretty strong, I think, maybe, with Tam's reveal. I don't know how to pronounce this. Pick finger.
It's peak.
Peak finger. I didn't remember.
This is peak finger.
It's gotta be.
It's finger, bro.
That can't be the right way to pronounce
finger.
it.
You know,
I didn't know that she
if
had
we're
a
going
last
off
name.
the anime, it's peak.
Her last name, is it just finger? Like, is that canon?
I don't
has to
remember.
be.
No,
I
you're thinking the back of the card has a cannon.
Anyway, peak finger.
The Panzer Unit Cartman.
Wait,
You
is
okay
this a
over there?
South Park? This is a South Park card?
No, shut up.
I'm sorry.
Stop.
I didn't read finger until I read it out loud. Like, it didn't even occur to me. Like, as I was reading the card, I just fucking read finger. Dumbass name. She's the Panzer Unit Cartman. Yeah, I'm not gonna read all the words on this card, because if you want to know everything she does, go check out Tam's video. Do we think she's good? What are we thinking about Peak Finger?
Just on a local level, could be fun competitively. I don't know. I think the words that Peak has are very interesting.
They sure are.
I think the idea with this character is cool, but is it going to be very good? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next objectively correct opinion, please.
Yeah, I think this character's got like strong vibes. I feel like this Chuck Titan is pretty good.
That's what it's called.
Yes, it is. This one's good. I like this one. Big ups. I think it's a win.
I think she's interesting. Like I like the idea for sure. It's just being competitive. There's a world. I think it could be possible because virtually any character can be competitive in this game. So
yeah, I mean, she's no Keyleth.
I was gonna say, one, I'm 99% sure that's not how her first name is supposed to be pronounced. But we're gonna move on.
First order of business.
I'm 100% sure that's how they say it in the anime.
I believe that, but I was gonna say I do think the ability for her to transform back and forth is really cool.
Yeah.
I want more transforming characters that can do that, a la Deku and her, because it's really neat.
Yeah, and with Dark Deku, it wasn't to this extent because I feel like with Dark Deku, it was just hardly ever anyone ever wanted to go back and forth between both sides of the characters. So it's like once they transformed to Quirks Unleashed, they kind of just stayed there for the rest of the game. At least from all the times I played against Dark Deku. Like I Or they even stay on the move. Like they don't really do a
Yeah, they
lot of
just don't even
flipping back and
transform.
forth.
Like I'm not transforming. There's a
Yeah.
lot of that too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
I don't
like-
know. I don't know how much we're gonna be transforming back and forth just due to certain restrictions on the enhances.
I mean, I think you definitely
Uh,
could. I just think if you're for the like kind of cost that it is, like you are saying this is it. This is the turn.
yeah,
One way or another, we're about to end this game. Overall, she's cool. Like she's got cool words. She's got good symbols for what she wants to do. She provides enough stats that there's probably a really cool build. Whether it's
Yeah.
good enough is really the question. But it
Yeah.
definitely could be good.
I'd be
Two
very
good
interested.
symbols with. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Nick.
No, you're good. I was gonna say I'd be very interested to see what people cook up with this list if someone decides to actually put the time in.
Character's cool.
Yeah, I think she's got some cool options on her. I'm not sure, but she seems like the kind of character that you have to build out a bit just because you're having to sacrifice a lot, and that makes me a little nervous. Just because there's like, even though Universus has said we don't want the games to end on like turn 2, there's a lot of really aggro stuff in like the meta right now. So like, Devil Jin, obviously, I haven't played against, what is it, Nick Reagan that's really busted. Like he's really aggro, right?
Yes, he's
Okay,
very.
yeah.
He's all gas.
Like the best competitive decks right now, like in terms of what's consistently doing well and what we're seeing the most of, are like hyper aggro. And she seems like she doesn't turn on until she's got foundations built to pay for this stuff. But who knows? Anyway, we will move on to someone with a less funny name. And it's going to be Connie Springer, Conflicted Heart. It was revealed by Broden Kynan. So Connie has an interesting. He's interesting. What do you guys think?
So I was gonna say, first off, Brendan Kynnan's video was like one of the coolest.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
True.
reveals
That
we've
was
seen.
It was
crazy.
very good.
Very
There's a
well
lot
done.
of fun stuff that was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really fun to watch.
It was.
Yeah, props.
We wish we made videos as good as that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Having
sorry.
a good time.
This isn't a you problem. This is an everybody else problem.
No, it's
Um,
great having a content creator like Brody in the scene.
Yeah.
for sure.
His video was fantastic, and he got a lot of praise in Discord and stuff about it, as rightfully deserved. That
Yeah,
video
Absolutely.
we were talking about it a
slaps,
lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched it like twice. I think it's very good. I think Brody is a very cool individual, and I think when he puts content up like that, it's just mwah. It's what some should aspire to.
Now,
But-
as for what like Connie does,
It's
generic air
interesting.
stuff. is pretty
Yeah, I
much
mean,
what Connie does.
yeah.
It's basically
It's not the bearded Titan.
it's not literally blank.
It's
Has
close.
abilities.
It's close.
It's
No,
definitely
it
United.
technically has an ability.
That's it.
That's it.
It
It's
does
one.
have an ability.
Does the static count as an ability?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
it's a continuous
Statics are
one,
abilities.
or static
Mm.
It
ability.
is a static ability.
Well, it sure does. I wonder
I
if this
think
could work.
there's cool sauce, but I
Yeah.
just like I don't know if it's. It's definitely not one I'm gonna be cooking on.
Same.
There are characters here that I'm like, oh, I'd cook on this, and that could be cool. Like our reveal, who we didn't
Fucko.
talk about at all in this because you can just go watch our video.
Yeah.
Birdman.
Peak finger, I would maybe build for like a local because I think it'd be fun to do
Yeah,
flip
same.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Um,
I was gonna say because I think I would build Peak before ever thinking of building this Connie. Not necessarily to say Connie is bad necessarily. Just don't know if it's enough.
yeah, it's just another one of those where I
Yeah.
don't think he can. I don't think Connie does enough to be in the
I just
next
feel like-
echelon.
I feel like it's a game plan that's pretty easy to shut down.
Even just a game plan that's really easy to shut down. To me, this card reads functionally blank. Like it does something that other characters do with less restriction on what they can play with similar stat lines. Most of the air stuff is going to do this anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
And
Air cares
if
about
you
it for
do
sure.
activate his effect, you can't play copies of that attack again. No thanks.
He ain't him.
Ain't him. I want to see him work. When I see cards like this, I'm like, I really want this to work. Like, I want to see Bearded Titan work. There's no way he would ever, right? But like, wouldn't it be
well,
sick?
if you get into some of the other discords, there are some people who are insistent that Bearded Titan is very good.
Okay, my
But-
people. That's what they are.
But I'm not sure how serious they're being because they're just typing.
True. Anybody
This is
can
the
Just
say
type
it.
of
chatting.
character.
They
Typing,
don't have
not
to say it with
topping.
their words. Yeah.
This is the type of character that I look at and I go, okay, and I flip over to see what his backside does, and I go, he's not even a Titan! He has nothing else!
Oh, that's it. That's all of it.
That's
good
it!
enough.
This is the card! It's like they forgot words on it.
I'm trying to decide if this is like even like a relevant sealed character. Like I think there's probably just
No.
other characters in this set that just do sealed
I would
better.
say-
I would literally take
yes.
anyone else. If somebody put a gun to my head and said, you have to play Connie, I would go, okay, but do I have to win? Because if I don't have to win, I'll play Connie. If I have to win, I'm just, you're just gonna take me out.
Gun to
Shut
my
your mouth.
head. I have to play. You have to play Connie and win. Okay, say goodbye to my family.
Say goodbye to my family.
I make a last phone call first.
Yeah, I'm like, we make a phone call while you're playing the game. You go, hey, I don't have a lot of time left.
I got about two rounds left. I got about 2 rounds of Swiss left.
Now, that being said, I was going to say in sealed, I could see Connie being a little bit better just
Yeah.
because you're not running play sets and that being a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah.
And being useful, but I don't know.
I don't know. I think because of that like just limits them even more for like the reasons like
If he wasn't
'Cause-
keyword gated, I think there could be a thing there, right?
yeah.
Oh, sure.
Like there could be a list where you just play
So
the Goodwin soup of your two symbols.
I feel like they made Mikasa in AOT 1 and they went, ooh, oh, hey,
And then they made Bird 2 and they were
I'm
like,
gonna need you guys to go cut the rest off. Y'all need to go wipe the rest of the words off that new Connie card. We can't.
Except we also just
No.
already had Pony who did it too.
Doesn't matter. I feel like Connie is paying for Mikasa's sins.
I feel like Mikasa's paying for Mikasa's
Mikasa
sins, for
Yeah.
Pony's
and
sins.
Bertolt like
Mikasa is Sukasa, you know what I'm saying? I think it's
Shut up.
fine.
moving on.
Please talk about the next character.
All right, next up, Vortex Cast brought us Hanji Zoe, 14th Commander of the Survey Corps. She's doesn't have as much health as everyone else, but do we think that's okay?
That is what happens when you're a seven-hander.
Mm-hmm.
One more health
Usually
than
have low
Yusuke. Yeah, for being a seven-hander, 23 is pretty good. I mean, I feel like they're kind of toying with the number up and down a little bit for seven-handers and trying to kind of find a sweet spot because, like, we saw Yusuke having like one of the highest health seven-handers in standard at 22 for a while.
Not
which
true.
is-
Not true. The best character in this game
13 had 23.
had 22 all the way back in set 3.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she had 23. I thought.
Is she? Oh,
Mm,
nice.
I thought
Look
so.
it up.
I thought so. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up too because
Yeah.
actually now I'm not sure.
I'm
You
gonna
two
need
look it up,
y'all-
and we'll talk about stuff that's relevant.
so I feel like they're kind of
It's
like
22.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I feel like they're still kind of toying with it though. Like I still feel like 22, 23, they're kind of like, can we put this health on seven-handers that do stuff? I mean, this one's fine. I like they're following through with like wall counter stuff.
Yeah, it's another wall character.
So this is a good old fashioned American character.
I also think the wall spin. I think what you get out of spinning your wall counters for Hanji Zoe is solid.
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely not an early game
No.
ability, but man, does it seem. But it's also not like wild if you wanted to use it.
Those
On
got
like,
probably like 2 of the best defensive symbols, so you get to
Yes.
just survive to the late game and spend your
Yep.
counters.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's how the streets is like. You're gonna see enough cards. You're gonna defend, and
you're gonna do the
then
wall counters. You're
and you're
gonna
gonna
have them.
curate
You're
your
gonna get to spend
hand.
them.
Yeah, and you're gonna filter your hand out. You're gonna get exactly what you want, and then you're gonna go. Am I dead? No. Interesting.
That's just too bad, ain't it? Here it comes.
It's just too bad for
Also-
you.
Banana
eye patch.
slammer.
Cool eye patch. Yo, it's Majima.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to say because like these are symbols I don't really play that much. And like I don't like 7-handers.
Yeah, you have been very vocal about you not liking 7-handers, except like the one time for League of Villains, you're like, Shik 3's got some cool words. I might.
Victory is cool. It's just like, oh man, did 19 not feel good?
No, it didn't. No, it does not.
That felt really rough.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the
And
big
I'd
things
be
is
even more
Brian's
terrified of that now.
Brian's a big 5-hander.
Big 5-hander stand. Yeah.
And big unique ability stand.
Yes.
If only this character can do that thing and no one else will probably ever be given it, I kind of want to play him.
Yeah. This song just cool. Like,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
one's cool.
yeah. Like, I don't have much to add because everyone just pretty much hit the nail on the head. I feel like.
I think I
Um,
think there's definitely potential here.
My
mhm.
2 thoughts for Hanji are I don't like wall counters. I think every time I play against a wall counter deck, I'm just kind of miserable. I just don't like it. It's annoying. That doesn't mean it's not good. That probably actually means it's good, but I don't like them. And then my other thought on Hanji Zoe is this is really cute art of her, and she looks all flustered.
It has an eye patch.
I have
She
a
has an iPad. Yeah.
important lore question, James, about Hanji.
What's up?
Spoilers to anybody who's trying to like catch up. I was gonna ask about her final fate in the series. Does
Yes.
she get hung?
No.
Okay.
I don't-
She
We like
goes
don't know,
out
right?
in a literal blaze of glory. She took in
In a blaze of glory. Sorry.
so basically like the wall titans that Aaron's using for the rumblings all produce Colossus style steam, so they're very hot to be around. And she is basically like on their when they're trying to escape on the boat. If I remember right, it's when they're trying to escape on the boat, and basically she's like 1v a million trying to stop the wall titans, and ends up taking down a ton of them, and basically just delaying long enough for them to get off where they need to go. It's either on the boat or the plane. I believe it might be the plane actually, but basically she just like single-handedly fights the rumbling long enough to stall them to get away and stop Aaron. So very good ending
Very
for this
cool.
character. Yeah,
Now,
That's cool.
was it the plane or was it our boy Falco?
this one was a plane.
Okay. Well, it should have been Falco. If you want to know more
I know,
about what
right?
Falco does, check out our reveal video. It's in the description.
Also, no more spoilers. We're done with that spoiler.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, so
the
I have
reason
another spoiler for Attack on Titan. Don't watch it.
That's
True.
kind of rude.
That's not a spoiler.
Just kidding.
That's not a spoiler.
Everybody
That's just
knows
life
that.
advice.
It's just life advice. Continue.
The reason I brought it up was because of what her first name means.
Oh, we're back to
Yeah.
this again.
Yes.
go.
Oh my god,
I'm bringing the
I
bit.
hate
Yeah.
it.
Can you please
I
look
love
up
this bit.
please look up Peak Finger after this? I need to know.
Pig is from Lower German, meaning like an embattlement or a fortified field.
Okay, and
But
finger
it
is finger.
originally was a W. Finger is finger.
Let's go.
Yeah, fish is fish.
I could look up Connie. Do you want to look up Connie real quick?
Let's do it.
I'm doing it right now. I got to. It means steadfastness or constance.
Okay.
It is just a.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
Let's reveal the next reveal.
All right. Next reveal, we're going on to Brody One, who
Chris
revealed
Smith.
Annie Leonhardt, awakened, crystallized in a jar, and she flips into female
Oh,
Titan
no.
finale. Yeah, she's in like, what is she, in ice or crystals or something?
It's like a JO crystal.
A J.O.
Hey.
crystal.
She looked like she's in some kind of Fabergé egg.
She could be trapped in
Yeah.
like a Fushigi.
It's just
Oh,
Titan hardening.
Fushigi!
Oh my goodness. Why is she hardening? Who's hard?
Oh,
Whoa.
Metapod is hardening.
Anyway,
Why is she hardening? That's a real question.
She did that to stop herself from being captured.
Well,
and
how would that
then
wait? Why
actually-
would that stop them? Wouldn't they just take the whole?
Wait, how'd
fucking
she do
crystal?
that? She just like, is that like an ability she can do? She's like, yeah, and shape of a Fabergé egg.
Yeah. By the way, I can turn
Well, that
into
was-
diamonds or whatever.
Pretty much. That was one of the female Titans' powers, was the ability to like harden like that.
Oh
And,
yeah, of course. That's
And so
makes sense.
yes, that's the thing I remember.
basically
happening
she did that and then was in a coma for the entire show pretty much until the end.
Did they take her? Like, did they take her crystal cocoon, or did they just?
Yeah, they
Okay.
put her underground and
Oh,
wait
that's
for her to
that's
wake
when
up.
Armin like is a freak about.
Oh
her.
yeah, they plant
Yeah.
her and wait for her to hatch.
Yeah,
pretty
I remember that now. She's the plot device.
She is apparently awake the entire time, or at least conscious, because she hears everything that goes on
That's
in her
terrifying.
room for the entire years that she's down there.
Oh my god,
that is
that's horrible.
That is terrifying.
Wait, so she down there
Yeah.
like during the time skip, like when they're like 12
Yeah.
to 16? So she like ages inside the cocoon?
I think so. She's basically there from when they capture her in the forest, like right after Eren starts learning how to use his Titan form,
Mm-hmm.
to pretty much, I think, when Zeke attacks Paradis towards the end before Eren like leaves with the rumbling. Like it's almost the entire show. She's like,
Damn, she's just in her
or like
cocoon.
3/4 of the show that she's just in the cocoon.
Well, she deserves it. Anyway, what do we think about the character?
She just napping.
Another another little low healther.
True.
I think she can be good. She's got chaos.
Yeah,
True.
So
I mean
like
she's
She
good.
do be having chaos.
chaos is a very, very good symbol, as we have seen. So I think that alone could elevate the character. But just reading these words, they're not bad words, but you know that health total.
I mean, her being a card type matters. In this case, backups, like backup matters,
Mm-hmm.
could be really good or could be like really rough.
Yeah,
Um,
it's kind of how I was thinking about it too, because it's got a bit of Hanj 1 flavor to it,
Mhm.
and I wasn't really expecting that. Just looking at this card and being like, oh, another Annie. Okay, let's see what this one has. Because I thought the previous Annie was fine. Very interesting to give your non-powerful attack throw. Or or was it non-throw powerful?
yes, the second one.
Yes. So like I find that very interesting because she can turn any attack into a kill card and uses will guarantee a momentum outlet no matter what you play. But reading this one and seeing that it's more backup dependent, I don't know, has me a bit I wouldn't say conflicted, but definitely like weary.
Sure.
I don't know. I think you get bonuses for playing backups. I think there's a way you can, if you just hate backups, you can play this character without them. But I think there are backups that she definitely wants to run, and you don't get punished in her for running backups as much as you would in other characters for the Hanji 1 reason. So I don't know. I think there's definitely something here. I mean, it's just like Speedy Godzilla a little bit. Like I don't know. I think there's definitely something that we can
Squishy
we
Godzilla.
can find
yep.
here. Squishy Godzilla, yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I think with this character having a low health pool, I think it just has a lot to prove.
Yeah.
I think that being a backup character overall is interesting. I'm glad they keep putting different varieties of backup characters out. So I'm pretty thankful for this character in that way. I don't know if she has what it takes to get there, being a 7-hander.
Fair enough. So, my final thoughts, and then I'm going to give the name etymology, and then we can move on. I feel like she's a character that could become really good because backups are just going to get printed from now on.
Yeah.
And on her symbol, if we get a really good backup, like if we finally, the UVS finally decides to push it hard enough, they're like, we really want somebody to play backup characters. And they finally make the one really, really good one. And then everybody's going to play all the mostly okay ones. And then I could see something like Annie Leonhardt Awakened being very strong at that point.
So one thing I want to pitch to you guys, kind of food for thought here. We keep saying, "Oh, aggro's the meta. Seven-handers are dangerous to play." Except for Nats, seven-handers have won 3 of the last 4 events.
That's true.
It's true.
So
Because
I don't know.
those people were not scared.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I love playing seven-handers though, but I'm not good at this card game. I like playing seven-handers. Every time I read a seven-hander, I'm just like, I really like what this does. I want to play it without fail. Like I like playing seven-handers, but it's just
Same.
it can be pretty hard to justify playing with a low health total in a meta where it's like, all right, well, if you can't live past turn 2, then why are you even here?
Yeah, and I think that just comes down to, like you said, player skill. Like I think seven-handers are very difficult to play, but when
Mhm.
they're put in the right hands, it's tried and proven that they can definitely win, especially in this more aggro meta that we've seen since like Attack on Titan onwards. It's, they're winning at least. I say 3 out of 4 events. I'm talking, of course, U.S. events, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I think there's definitely a way that we can find to make this character probably pretty good. That's my own personal opinion. I think their symbols have enough defense on them to survive those early turns. I don't know. I think there's something here.
I don't think seven-handers are bad at all. I
Same.
think they're hard to play. I think for like the average
Mhm.
person, you're probably not gonna have a good time with it in the current meta. So, like obviously someone who's really good at the game and is consistently topping events is gonna do well with this character that's like high skill ceiling but like high reward, But
Mhm.
in terms of just like an average person playing her, I don't know, I don't think she's gonna be great. Just
That's
for that
fair.
reason.
And then the last thing, Annie is the diminutive Hannah, which is a Hebrew name meaning grace. And Lionheart means literally what it says.
Heart
It
of a
also means
lion.
she's French.
Well,
Oh,
our next reveal was given to us by the Daubers, and it was Flock Forster, Jaegerist leader.
Those are a lot. Those are
Forster.
words.
Those are our words. I think I said it right. It's Flock, right?
It's Flock, yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's
Flock.
Flock.
Flock Forster. That
Flock
sounds like
Forster?
that's like a frat boy name, I feel like.
sounds like Rock Lobster. Only
Oh, it does
sounds
sound like Rock
real
Lobster.
bad.
Rob, you're gonna get us copyrighted.
Oh no.
Well, it's been really fun doing the podcast with you guys. Thank you for listening at home. Brian has chosen to get us canceled. So
That's definitely not true.
But no, these words are cool. Very interesting way of defense on this character.
what's another backup character?
It is another backup character.
I
Yes.
can't bring myself
I'm less
to
excited
care.
about this.
I
backup
know.
character.
I can't bring myself to care about backup characters. Like or backups at all. I don't know why. I don't know if
Like-
it's just like I'm stuck in my ways and I don't want to play with a new thing. But it's like I just don't give
I've
a shit.
played
You hate the color pink.
that color pink kinda, to be honest.
honestly. I've played with backups a little bit. Me personally, I don't hate the backups. It's kind of like how we felt about assets like a long time ago. Was like it was hard to justify playing a card that could not help us pass checks. So like the effect on the card had to be really good to justify running them. And I guess to a certain extent, actions were kind of that way too, sort of. But we also have seen the shift attacks, like the Titan attacks that shift into backups, to where you can just sling it as an attack, and then you just get to also build it as a backup, so you don't really have to worry about trying to like have to check for it, like waste a turn playing it instead of swinging. It just kills 2 birds with 1 stone there. But I just feel like backups are just in the same place that assets were a good while ago.
I think it's just that it's like another resource that this game's already so complicated. Like, I don't want to keep track of another resource, you know? It's like, I don't know. It just feels like so much. And I just really don't want to be bothered with it. I guess I'm just lazy. I'm just a lazy card gamer. But that's my
Fair.
The less
opinion.
you read, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really blame you because I mean, I have a similar mindset. Like I think backups have added more to pay attention to in the game that already has a lot going on. I still think that there are good backups in the game. It's just trying to find the room or the justification to run some of them. And you have these characters that want to run backups. So it's like, okay, well, if I want to play this character, I'm playing backups.
Unfortunately, Flock Forster is literally like everyone's favorite character, so we're all playing backups now. Also, couple of things to note with this guy. He's on a life symbol, and I know you're sitting here thinking, "Now, Jake, why is that relevant?" Well, let me tell you. He has a really interesting effect to double damage. Now, doubling damage, kind of cool. You know, it'd be even funnier if you played like 10 duplers and you went bah, 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 on a throw, and you only played throws, and you went bah, 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 and then you doubled the damage and killed your opponent.
It's a
First enhance.
duplicate.
First
So you
enhance,
can't do
bud.
that. Yep.
Oh, that's right. Never mind, this character's bad.
I knew that comic was right. Yeah, it's another setup where on the backup thing, like backups are now going to matter. Eventually, we're probably going to get a character every single set that cares about them, and eventually, we're going to get one that breaks backups, and then one of those backup characters is going to be wildly good. I just don't know which one it's going to be, but it's probably going to be one on the life symbol or death symbol, so that they can run death rattle and they can run the harness and death and things like that. Do I think this will be that one? I'm not convinced. On the upside, his first name means flower.
Nice.
It's from French. It's French, and Forster is an English word.
The forest.
No, actually, it's
more like a logger or something.
It actually derives from fosseter, which is like a Middle English word, but it was originally an occupational name for the maker of scissors or shears, and then it became Forester, as you would know it now.
Interesting. I think this character could probably have been fine. I think as far as backup characters go, he's kind of far down on the list. His thing being a first enhance, if it had just been like a regular enhance, I think it would have been fine. And I think it would have been actually probably see some play because there'd be some tricky stuff you can do with it. But having to be a first enhance hurts it too bad.
All right. The last reveal that we're going to talk about is from UVS Hermit, and it's Porco Galliard, possibly Gaillard.
Galliard.
Okay, Galliard. And every time I hear Porco, I just think of Porco Rosso.
You should.
Yeah.
But that's not
Porco
who this
literally
guy
just
is.
means swine.
Oh, he is the Jaw Titan, crushing biter, and he does look like a little biting gremlin.
When I hear Porco, it's not. My brain just thinks Parco Flagori from that spell. Like it's the names aren't similar, but that's just where my brain goes because I'm stupid. But reading the front side of Porco, man, he's got a lot to prove.
Yeah.
He's got to work. We're gonna put him to work.
He's putting
I
me to
think
work,
he-
bro. That's a lot of fucking words to read. That's like a whole ass
Yeah.
paragraph.
You have to play so many cards.
I was gonna say
Ugh.
I think he might be the hardest to transform, definitely from this set, and he might be up there for the hardest to transform period right now from AOT. Except for maybe the Challenger Aaron that needed 8 face downs.
I think this character just transforms and then dies because you're overcommitted.
That's what it feels like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm just not sure if he can do enough. He's got cool abilities, but like it's gonna be rough to do. Now, obviously, like we're not talking about packages or anything, and like we haven't seen every card that is gonna come out on his symbols, and like maybe that pushes him over. It feels like he doesn't do a lot.
Yeah, but
I feel like you're just stuck on his front side most of the time.
when you do
99% of
flip
the time.
them, like +2/+2 is crazy, and also if someone plays like a showdown or like any like a, or maybe not a barrier shield. No, it would be a barrier shield, right? No, it's a
It'd
showdown
be
then.
whatever. Yeah.
I mean,
It's still barrier shield because you can seal the card they
Yeah.
block with.
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
like anytime someone tries to block with like a card that has like a good response, you just say no, you're not doing that. So okay,
Agreed.
question: if you seal a card, that doesn't get rid of like the
It gets rid of abilities and keyword abilities, and they cannot gain abilities.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
does
to
not
do
get
with
rid of
Night-Eye.
keyword traits.
Okay. That's
So
that's
if it
decently strong though.
Yeah, if it has punch breaker 2, it loses breaker 2. If it's sealed, it does not lose punch.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I like these. I like this health total as far as like being a 7-hander. 24. It's really cool.
Mhm.
I think that's pretty neat. I just like on his front side with no real defense, you kind of have to like take a turn, maybe two, build out, and then hopefully you're killing your opponent. Like, and the problem I think with this is like you're gonna do all that you're gonna do his stuff to transform, and then you're gonna have to pass your turn.
Yeah.
So then your opponent goes, oh, so you had to play all of those cards to attack me to transform. Now it's my turn. You better hope I can't kill you so that you have a full turn. And it just, especially on these symbols, like these symbols do not have the greatest defense.
Yeah.
Like if you're playing on fire, you have like one or two resets, I think.
Yeah, you have
You have new number one.
new number 1, which is a great reset.
Yeah.
Desperate struggle.
And it does for
That's-
struggle on fire, yeah.
Yeah.
And death. I think it also has death.
So yeah, you have those, but I don't know. I don't think he realistically gets there because you're not meeting his conditions to transform on turn 2. You're not doing it.
He does get to play Heroes Upbringing.
Which is cool. Mm-hmm.
So like that is a tech piece he gets access to. Granted, probably not main boarding it. I mean, I think that should be like one or two of them the main board, if you can play it. But like he gets access to that, so being able to shut down the rival's character to make it harder for them to kill Porco, I think can matter because a lot of people have repeatable effects in their stage and everything. So I think Heroes Upbringing has only gotten better to fight these decks, and with Porco having access to that, I think can help him live. But I still think he has to work too hard to get to that backside.
Yeah, you're looking at like 2 turns of building to transform. And then once you do that to transform, you're hoping they don't kill you. So like as you're spending 2 turns to build, say you got lucky and got to go first. You build out turn 1, you build, let's say so you're a 7-hander, you get to build 5. Next turn, you can't build out your entire hand, you'll die. So you'll probably build like 4. So you still have 3 cards to block with. Okay, cool. Now it's your turn. Now you have to play a bunch of cards to transform. Okay, cool. You've now transformed. You've done nothing. I mean, maybe not done nothing. Maybe you've like hit them for like half their health if you're lucky. You transform. Now you've used up all those resources to transform. Now they're going to swing at you. Okay, cool. You have 24 health at base, assuming they haven't attacked you either of these other 2 turns, which a lot of decks start playing attacks on turn 2.
Yeah.
So
I think every deck really plays attacks on turn 2 if they see one or two at least.
Yeah, so like you're probably doing that. So then you're talking on your first and second turn you had to build, and then you had your third turn which you got to do playing a bunch of stuff and jumping through hoops to transform, and then you do your fourth turn you get to start swinging if you have the hand to swing at them. It's too much. I think if they had done this, made it a little bit easier for him to transform, I think we would have seen a solid aggro character that starts putting enough pressure on around turn 3 and like lets you like play the game. The problem is I think they're too scared with this. Well, we don't want aggro and fast decks, and we don't want turn 2 kills, so we've got to stay as far away from possible. So we're gonna make it so this character can't even kind of be scary until turn 4.
I will say there's a world where you're basically just playing 3 diff attacks, so you're not actually out a bunch of resources because you're giving good stats on the other side. So you transform a little earlier, and then you just like play through. But I'm not in love with that idea to build, so I definitely wouldn't play him for that. But there's an option where you just run the best 3 diff attacks and like a couple of 4s. Like you just run 4s and 3s. You don't run anything that's a 5 diff or anything, basically. And you just string out that way. That being said, I'm just kind of like about that idea. It just would work.
Yeah, I am not super big on this character, just for the reasons everybody's talked about. Like I said earlier, I think it's you get a little bit away with it with the 3 diff package, but I feel like it's just transform and then die.
I do appreciate a 7-ender having 24 health, just getting that extra bump in health, but I just wish it wasn't on this character. Like maybe he'll be good, like because we don't have
we don't have
anyone.
everything.
Yeah, we don't have everything. Not everything's revealed for the set yet. No one's played with this character that I know of. So like playing on TTS and whatnot. So it's like maybe this character's good, but right now as it stands, just has to work too hard to transform and then die.
I had to finish it up. His last name means brave. It's a French word.
What's porco mean?
It's an Italian word. It means swine or pork.
Oh no! Why would they give him that
Yes.
name?
Brave pork.
Brave pork, brave little pig.
Actually, it'd be like pork. It'd be like pork brave.
Pork brave.
Braveheart, Tegan.
Or spirited. It can also mean spirited, but it's the same idea.
All right,
Spirited pig. Anyway, with that, everybody down can tell us down in the comments, how wrong that we are.
Well,
They'll be wrong,
yeah.
But they can tell us that they think we're wrong.
Exactly.
Speaking of wrong, earlier talked about Annie Leonhardt, the first Annie.
Mhm.
She gives non-powerful attack throw.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we flipped it. My bad.
Yeah. I mean, sure, someone already typed that in the comments, but don't worry, we corrected ourselves now, so everything is good in the world.
Yeah.
And that's why we're never wrong.
Exactly. Everything we say is peer reviewed by each other. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely.
By a
There's
jury of our
no
peers.
room for corruption.
Well, also like there's like more screaming and rampaging outside of here, so I'm getting kind of worried. What else do we have to talk about?
I would also like to take a moment and thank everybody for revealing these characters and remind the audience to please go show these creators some love. Go check out their reveal videos. Give them a follow. Everybody works hard on trying to put up content for everybody, so let's not understate it. Please go check their stuff out. If you want to see what Falco does, go check out our video. We put up a fun one. Got a little bit at the beginning of it. Good time. And let us know in the comments what you think about these characters. We really want to know your opinion.
And speaking of that, I was to say there are 2-3 characters left to be revealed.
I think so, yeah.
I don't remember off the top of my head who the next person revealing is.
There's 2 left, and it will be Hyperion.
Hyperion, right.
Hyperion's doing both of them?
No, Hyperion, and then after Hyperion is Friends and
Nice.
Yeah, and then Friends and
Yep.
Rivals will do the
Yeah.
last one.
We'll link
Yep.
the article so you guys can see like the full calendar releases as well.
Yeah.
But we're gonna take a step back. We're gonna go back in time a little bit for everybody, a little further for some of us than others. I think. Actually, who's been playing the longest? Is it Brian?
The past.
No, actually, it's me.
Jake.
yeah.
Okay.
Jake and I roughly started around the same time, but he started like a week before I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I technically introduced Andrew to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk about everybody's first time experiences with the game. Something we've heard kind of sort of as feedback, sort of criticism of the game is that it's a little tough for new players to get into it. We've heard that several times. So I kind of want to see what our first experiences were kind of throughout the years because we all started kind of staggered. And then versus what new players' experiences are. So Jake, let's go back about 30 years to when you started playing.
Thanks. So back in my day, we actually didn't even have cards. We would just throw rocks at each other.
We just actually punched each other.
This fist is a high. It's a 4 high for 5. Better catch with your face, nerd.
Hit you. No, but when did you
Yeah.
actually start?
So I started right before My Hero, like, really came into be, came about. I was at a convention I actually think I was in Vegas
Yes.
for I think a Level Up Expo, not sure. Playing a different card game, and I remember walking by the booth, then all labeled Jasco, and I saw Cowboy Bebop caught my eye immediately. The stunning package display for the 2-player starter. I saw that and I was like, oh, Cowboy Bebop, interesting. So I stopped to start looking at stuff, and one of the guys from Jasco immediately starts talking to me, and he's talking about this and that and the game and how it works, and I looking around at the table, I saw like Cowboy Bebop and like Yu Yu Hakusho and stuff, and was like, okay, well, these are some of my core anime that I really like. And I bought a couple of packs. I was like, oh, I'll put these in my binder or whatever. And on the first pack, I pulled a what's it, the Tagoro action card.
Tagoro Brothers.
The Tagoro Brothers.
I pulled a Tagoro Brothers as my first card. It's like out of my first pack, and it was pretty cool. The guy was like, "Oh, hey, that's like a really good card," and I was like, "Okay, dude, sure." Like, thought he's pulling the whole. Oh, you got something sick. You should, play more. But sure, I was like, "Yeah, man, that's cool." I mean, I like Tagoro Brothers; they're cool, kind of, almost. And so I slipped it in my binder. And they had just put out, I want to say, the My Hero demo decks. Like, it was like I want to say it's like one of the first rounds of them. And I got a couple of them. And I was like, okay, interesting. I'm going to put these in my bag. So I get home.
I'm going to steal these. Mine now?
Steal these. Disclaimer, I did not steal them. I was given them. And so I did what I always do when I get into a new card game. I go, Andrew, I'm playing this card game, and you're gonna learn. Period.
I literally to voice like my perspective of that. I was literally sitting at my desk. He walks into my room, hands me these decks. He's like, "Hey, we're learning this." I go,
Okay.
Pretty much what happened.
That's what happens 9 times out of 10. Andrew being the younger brother, I kind of just force my hobbies onto him, so I have somebody to play with, and I'm just like, yeah, you're gonna play, nerd.
Well, and he also has the benefit of me not really giving a fuck. So,
whoa, you can't say fuck on live television.
Sure, already did. In fact, I'll say it again. Fuck.
Whoa, calm down.
I want these bleeped out.
I'm censoring these. I'm fine.
We have to calm down. Calm down. We have to pay for every one of these.
Wait, what?
Pay the network.
You have to pay the network. So we did a little bit of demoing, and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. I like this. This is cool. So I went online and did what any reasonable person would do. I bought multiple booster boxes, offer it, and so yeah, I got a bunch of like Yu Hakusho, Cowboy Bebop, that type of stuff, and we started playing. Started getting a bunch of our friends into playing with those sets. Most of us ended up buying like some of the Mortal Kombat stuff, and we had a small amount of players kind of playing at like my house and like the local card shop, and it was a lot of fun. Like I think there were like 8 of us, and it was a good time. And that kind of continued into Set One My Hero. I remember when Set One My Hero came out. There were our locals actually had like 20-ish people.
Yeah.
The day it came out, I actually was working for a card store and we were vending a convention. So we had brought the product with us and had started selling it at the convention because it was an anime convention. Well, all of all of the people that had already been playing, plus some others, we had all bought booster boxes and stuff, and then had done this massive like trading thing hanging out of the convention until very late, and had been like trading cards around and like building decks and playing, and it was really fun. I remember the early days of me playing Universus. I say early days, like beginning of MHA was too far away, but it was a lot of fun. So I'm always trying to like help people get into the game, or always trying to kind of pitch the game to anybody that's like, yeah, I'm looking for a new card game. Because I really like a lot of the game, and I feel like community is the strongest thing this game offers.
Would you say, like, your first experiences playing the game, was it hard for you to get into it and figure it out, or was it easier because you had a bunch of people that were kind of working on figuring it out with you?
So I would say it was actually pretty difficult. So just because comprehending the rules is different than just like reading the rules, right? You have to be able to put them into practice. And luckily I have somebody like Andrew when I get to play games who like obsesses about rules, and like he'll be like, I don't know, and he'll consult like 16 pages of rules or something. Disclaimer, I don't remember how many pages were on the
There's quite a
online
few.
rule document, but
There's a lot.
Andrew was and still is like one of the most astute for the rules in our area. He's kind of like our judge on staff. And luckily I had somebody, Kim, who would like try to break it down and stuff, but there would be a lot of times like we weren't really privy to any online groups, and there wasn't like didn't know we didn't have like veteran players that had been playing a while. There wasn't like a big scene that I could just like go to a store and ask somebody how to play. Nobody I ever talked to in any of the game stores anywhere near my area even knew what the hell this game was.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty much just like trial and error and like finding stuff out and like looking stuff up, or like we would get something wrong and then somebody would go home and do a little bit of research and like, hey, actually we can't do that. I was like, oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, with this being like the 6th oldest like card game out there, it's pretty wild that like a handful of us didn't really know it existed till like about 2020.
But yeah, like I would say it was very difficult to learn, like overall. Like I pick up card games pretty well. Again, I've been working in card stores for 7 years now. I've been playing card games my entire life.
Prove it. Name every card game.
Okay, deal. Zatch Bell, Naruto, Duel Masters, Kaijudo, Chaotix, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering.
I like that those 3 weren't the first ones you named.
I've been playing card games like my entire life. Like I started out playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Me and a bunch of my friends grew up like we play Yu-Gi-Oh at my house all the time. And that was kind of like my big thing. I small forays into Magic here and there, but nothing too major. But so I'm no stranger to card games, and learning UVS was learning was very hard.
Andrew, you're next then, right? You started
Yeah.
playing next. So did you have pretty much the same experience as Jake in terms of like learning the game and kind of stumbling upon it?
Yeah, so I mean, my experience for the most part is the same as Jake's, because, like I said, I got into the game roughly around the same time he did, and how I got into it was he literally came home with those My Hero demo decks. It was like, hey, we should learn these, learn this game. This seems cool. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. Let's learn this game. And then eventually we sat down with the demo decks. We're going through the steps and everything. Looked at a couple videos. I think I found like a FAQ and just a general comprehensive rule book to kind of just reference a little bit. Just kind of went from there. Like as we played the game, I was like, wait, does this work? Okay, actually, I don't think this works. Because I remember specifically at one point we were playing. Jake had a turn where he played an attack and then played another attack, and then we were like, "Wait, can you use the words on the previous attack? I don't see anything about it." And then he, as he kept stringing out, he just kept playing the previous words on the previous cards. I was like, "That seems really strong. I don't think that's how that works because that sounds really stupid." So like there was a lot of like just trial and error with some of the things we were doing. Yeah, and it's also like Jake said, like I am a bit of a rules guy. I want to know exactly what I'm doing. I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Otherwise, it's going to bother me to the point where I'm not going to be able to sleep. Not actually, maybe, but I am pretty big on rules, wanting to know how things work and everything. So I very much went hard into the paint of learning how to play this game. Even though I think I have a pretty decent grasp on the game, there are still some things I'm like, I don't know if that's actually how that works, or does it work this way? Like that's just like with this game is like there's still these like nuanced interactions that kind of pop up, and it's like, hey, what about this? And like, I don't know. I'll get back to you on that because it's very, very minute and very specific detail. And so the game was pretty difficult overall to pick up and learn back when I actually started. Managed to survive and managed to know how to play the game still, but it was still pretty rough. Not a lot of resources, not a lot of sources to really go to around that time.
I'm curious what it was like for people who started back in like the UFS days or whatever it was called back then.
Yeah,
Like,
Universal Fighting System.
Wonder if it was the same for them.
Yeah, maybe. Because I have played with like the UFS cards. I've played with reversals. I've played with safe. I've played with gauge. Like, I've played with these keywords that some people are like, what does this mean? What does gauge mean? And stuff like that. So I'm not really an old head, but I've experienced a little bit of UFS just before the My Hero stuff came out. And I know My Hero also got a lot of people into the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very popular IP, especially around that time. I hadn't watched the show, and it's very funny when a lot of people are like, "Hey, I love this scene or whatever. I love this character from the show." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know anything about them. I just play the game." And the looks and sounds I get from when people hear me say that, they're like, "Wait, you don't know who this character is?" No, I play the game because I like the game. The IP is just there.
Wait a minute. You didn't watch Flavor of the Month Shonen Anime number 689?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, Flavor of the Month
I-
anime. That's definitely how I would describe My Hero Academia.
So
no lasting impact whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely.
Fun fact: I didn't start watching My Hero until about maybe it's about set 4, till about set 4 of My Hero, till League of Villains, and even then, I've only watched the first 2 seasons of My Hero.
That's all you need.
I have not watched more.
That's all you need.
That's the. I understand that IPs are what really gets people interested in card games. I'm just one of those players that is just no. If the gameplay is good, I will play the cards. I will play the card game. Like IPs will be a nice little bonus because I was excited this year with Guilty Gear and Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
So like I of course I'd be excited about those. I like those IPs, but I enjoy the gameplay, which is why I keep playing this game and why I keep coming back to it. It's because I really like how the game plays.
So I think,
And speaking,
yeah, I think
coming back.
Brian, you actually started playing because it was My Hero, right?
Sort of. So by the time I joined, Jake had quit playing the game, and I had come to Austin to help some friends at the Rooster Teeth Expo of 2022, I guess it was. And they were running a card store. They were helping run a card store, and they had brought up, "Hey, there's this card game that's been kind of popping off in our game and like in our store that's My Hero based, and it's My Hero Academia." And I was like, "Oh, I like that show. I like card games. That's really cool. Like when I get there, you should show me the cards. I'm interested." And they're like, "Yeah, we bought the starter deck. We can play it once. We think you'd like it." And they were right, obviously, because I've been playing this game since then. But it was right after Crimson Rampage came out, because I bought the starter deck afterwards, and then I was like, I want more cards to like play with and do stuff with. I knew I was just gonna waste the money. I was sure in my head, I'm like, I'm just gonna waste the money. I'm never gonna get to play this card game again after today. But I want more cards. So I bought the DLCs. I bought a booster box of Crimson Rampage. Opened it, was trying to figure out how to build my own deck. Found a Tamron Cardwell video of him building Ochako 2. Like he had just posted it like the day before. And I'm like watching him. I'm like, well, I want to see how somebody builds a deck, and then I'll build my own deck. Watched him build it. I'm like, okay, cool, that makes sense. And then I looked at my own cards, and I was like, well, I don't have some of these cards, but I have a lot of those cards. So I built basically a janky version of that list. And then before I left to come back home, because I wasn't living in Austin at the time, I went on the internet and I was like, does anybody play this game anywhere near where I live? And I got on Facebook and I found that there was a group that was supposedly meeting on Tuesdays at this store I'd never been to, basically across town from me. And I was like, well, I'll go. And I was like, and at worst, they're not there anymore, and I'll just go home. And the first week I went, it was Andrew and one other guy.
Hi.
Yes. And so I played Andrew and I played the other guy, and then I went home. And the next week, I came back, and it was the two of them and another guy. So we actually played a tournament thing. We actually made for the week. And then we slowly built ourselves up. I was learning the game, but a lot of my learning the game and how I like to learn games, especially in this style, is I'm going to build one deck or one thing and just learn how to play it. I will learn the rest of the rules as they come up against me.
Sure.
As people go, hey, I can do this. And it'd be like, oh, okay, that's what the rules say. You're allowed to do that thing. I can't do that thing because I'm not built to do that. But cool. It's good to know that that can happen. I did okay. I picked it up fairly quickly. Obviously, I had like help because Andrew was there soon after I'd started playing. I've played a lot of card games before then, so that helped. And I played a lot of board games. Like I just play games, and I'm usually the guy who has to know the rules so that the group whatever group I'm playing with can play said game. So that helped a lot. I was like, well, I can pick them up some. So I was able to go through that. And then I invited a handful of friends over, and I was like, hey, you guys should play this game. Or at least try it with me. And if you don't like it, I'm like, I'll teach you how to play. And if you don't like it, you don't have to keep playing.
I was that
You.
friend.
You were one of those friends. Yes, that's true. You were the one that got hooked.
Yeah, I think it was me, was our buddy Zach, and I can't remember who else. Was it Zeke? Was it? Okay. Yeah,
Zeke,
so
our DM.
two of our close friends we actually used to be roommates with. So we all met up and just played kitchen table. And my
I
first
built
deck,
4 decks. They were not that great because I didn't really
Yeah.
have enough to build 4 good decks.
Yeah, first deck I ever played was Asui 1. Played it into, I believe it was Shadow 2, because this was like right after Crimson Rampage came out.
Yeah, like I had a lot of Crimson Rampage. I think I only owned like 1 box of Crimson Rampage and like 1 box of just My Hero set 1.
Yeah, and for me, the initial like learning of the mechanics of the game actually kind of picked up pretty quick. Like Brian went through like, hey, here's how you play a turn, here's what your goals are, here's how the enhanced step works, and for the most part, I guarantee we probably messed some stuff up in that first game, but
For sure.
absolutely, like I don't think you could pick up this game and not do that. But I got the general idea pretty quick, and I was like, you know what, I like My Hero, I like complicated card games, and so this was pretty right up my alley. So I decided to stick with it. Ended up playing Tokoyami for a little while, and I mean, really, that's just what it was. Like going to locals every week, and once I kind of learned like the basics, as hard as I feel like this game is to explain to new people, and watching new people play it, and watching them kind of struggle with like enhances and response, because I've tried to teach a couple people before, and it seems like it's kind of a struggle sometimes. For some reason, I don't know, something just kind of clicked with me on the way it works. So personally, I didn't find the game too hard to pick up. Now, being good at the game, or like being understanding when you're supposed to do certain things, that's a whole that took a while. That took a lot
The
longer.
win
Like
is a big part of it.
exactly. The how was very easy for me though.
But I also think that might be like the how of our game is very simple. How
Yeah.
you play a card is very easy to understand after
Yeah.
you've seen somebody do it. But the why and the wins,
Yeah.
when people say it's hard to play our game, they're not typically saying it's hard to literally play a card in our game and understand how that works. They're saying if you want to win a game of Universus,
Yeah.
you need to know a lot more than just how to play the cards.
Yeah, it's like low barrier for entry, high skill ceiling is how I've described it before.
It's kind of like it's kind of like a high floor if you want to win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I had the good old crutch of set 2 Crone Frog Tokiyami to start out with. So that was, that was once I figured out how that deck was supposed to play, I was able to pick up a few wins. Maybe that's why I stuck with it. Eventually I did move on to start playing Eraserhead, which was a whole different beast to try and tackle. That one definitely took a little bit of time, but it was very rewarding. Finally, like getting through that initial phase of like, okay, I don't really know when I'm supposed to do stuff, and also I explode very easily, to getting to the point where I'd be like, okay, I've played this matchup before, or I've played into similar styles, or I've seen this attack package before, so I know it's coming, and being able to like plan your turns and figure out the best way to use that abilities. Like when you really get into the meat and potatoes of this card game, and you're really in the enhanced step and everything, I think it's a very rewarding game when you manage to pull through a win.
And then
Oh yeah, me. I'm the newest player. I think I've been playing for like 2 years now, though, right? Year and a half.
You
little
really
before God
started
Level.
playing right around Jetburn, so about
yeah,
a
so yeah,
year,
it'll
almost 2
be-
years. Yeah,
Yeah,
It'll be
I
2
thought
years around TMNT, I think.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
it was
that
close
was
to
right
2
around there.
years. Yeah,
Mhm.
I started kind of just hanging out with everybody at locals because I didn't have anything else to do. So I was like, well, I guess I'll go be social and get out of the house. And they would play,
What a
and
weirdo.
I would just like sit at the tables and just like read or like draw or like I don't know. I was just like the weird kid at like the school lunch cafeteria who just like sits there drawing like in the library or whatever. That was like me, but like
That's
at
still you.
locals. Yeah, that's still me. Let's be honest. And then I don't know. I don't remember why I started playing. I can't
Because
remember
we
if
looked like we were
James,
having fun.
maybe that or James convinced me. But the first deck I played, I think, was Shigaraki. I think James built me a Shig deck.
Shig 1, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was.
yeah, and that was back when I still had like no idea how to deck. But I remember you playing that deck for a while and
Yeah.
being having some troubles with it, and then like, what was
Yeah.
it? It was like a while later. I looked at it and I was like, man, why are you running like 22 diffs? No wonder you can't build anything.
I wonder.
Yeah, I feel like I remember playing against it, like, yeah, Steph and I playing, and then I'm just like, huh. I don't know that you can do much, but like, you're
Yeah.
having
Mind you, this was
fun.
this was 22 diffs back when the deck size was 50.
Yeah, right. Like it was like you had no zeros and no ones.
Oh, I wish we
And
could go back and find that deck again. That'd be so
Oh
funny.
man.
yeah, it was
I was
probably
just
too
like,
bad.
because I mean, I was still pretty new to the game myself. So, because when you're messing around with Shigaraki, that was like a little bit before you started coming to locals super often,
Mhm.
if I remember right. We were just kind of whenever we'd get together and hang out as a group, we'd kind of play, and and so I was still kind of new to the game myself. So I was like trying to build a deck and just being like, yeah, these are the good ones. Of course you'd run this.
Yeah.
Not
Why
They are
really.
the
not?
good ones. That's why they're harder to
Yeah.
play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
I remember
was
it
gonna
being.
say
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no. I was gonna say, was that the first deck you ever built on your own? Because I basically handed you the Tokoyami list
Yeah, it may if it
because I like
wasn't.
looked it up and I was like, oh, I own most of this. Do you want this?
Yeah, it might have been one of the first decks that I personally built myself.
Yeah, I remember having kind of a hard time. Like, it wasn't impossible to like. It didn't feel like I'm never gonna understand this. Like, I think I got the basics decently fast. Like, I think James, you even mentioned like I picked it up pretty quick. But it's just, yeah, it's like you said, like having a lot of the situational awareness in the game is kind of hard. Like, I remember specifically with Shig, I would get to my turn and I would just like build as much as I could because I was like, I gotta have resources. But then I wouldn't have shit to block with, and I'd be like, okay, I'm just dying on your turn. What do I do? So it's like, it's just a lot of trial and error in that way. And then like, I don't just like dealing with like all the responses and like realizing what they do. And then something I still struggle with is like knowing what everyone's foundations do and having to read all of these cards. Like there's times where I'll go to like tournaments or like locals, and I don't want to like bother my opponent and be like, what is this card? What is this card? What is this card? Because there's cards I've never seen before that people are running because there's just so many cards now. So it's
Mhm.
like just not having that awareness of what certain cards are and what they do, and like not asking. Like I sometimes I do get up and I'm like, I'm gonna read this card now.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, and that's perfectly fine. Like it is on the table. Your opponent cannot say no. You can't know what this card does. No, it is public knowledge. I need to know what that card does. Give me that freaking card.
yeah, and I don't think anyone would say no. It's just like I never want to like stop the game flow and like bother
The
people
game
and be
flow.
like, let me read this
Yeah.
card real quick. Like, why don't you put all your foundations upside down? And I've actually played against people who did that, and it was very nice of them. Like like early on, I was like, I'm new. They were like, okay, I'll turn my cards upside down and let you read them.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm pretty sure I did that once or twice. I was like, I know
I
every
think
card in my
so.
deck. I don't have to
Yeah.
think about it. Like I
Yeah.
can look at the picture and go, this is I'm gonna use this one.
Mm-hmm.
Your
Yeah.
turn. I'll use
Yeah.
this one.
That's how
Your
I
turn.
am. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I still struggle with some of the older cards. With the newer cards, not as much because I open them and I look at them and I'm like actively playing, so I like look at the new stuff that's
Yeah, you're
coming out.
parsing them.
Yeah, but like a lot of the older like My Hero stuff, I still don't know like a lot of those,
Well,
and
at this point,
I
all
just
of
don't
those
see
are pretty
them.
much gone. You don't really have to
That's
worry
true.
about them
Yeah.
much. Really, just like League of Villains
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right now it's League of Villains.
and Undaunted,
Yeah. Uh, yeah.
and
League
I
of
guess
Villains,
maybe
Undaunted,
Jetburn.
Jetburn, and Girl Power are like the only My Hero.
You were definitely playing during Girl Power, so
Yeah, I
Yeah.
For
was.
sure.
But yeah, I just kind of I didn't use any like demo decks. I don't think any of us did. We all kind of just jumped in like feet first, both feet in, and give me a
I
deck
didn't.
and we'll figure it out. But you know, I think the important factor for all of us was that we had other people who knew the game already teaching us, and we weren't just trying to like figure it out ourselves or figure it out with other brand new people. So, what do you guys think it's like now for people who are joining the game right now in 2025?
Well, actually, I have some insight into that. I actually just taught somebody how to play this last weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure if it's because the guy I was teaching had really good comprehension, and I had mentioned I was like, yeah, I had met him. He came into the card store I was working at, a card store that does not sell Universus. And we had been talking about stuff, and he mentioned he played a card game, and he liked niche card games. I was like, yeah, I feel that.
I play the nichest card game there is.
I play a niche card game myself. I'm somewhat of a card gamer myself. I started talking about Universus. He started talking about how he likes fighting games, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. I gave him my Discord. He added me on Discord and was, we talked about it a little bit, and he was like, okay, cool. So he went and bought a starter deck, and we set up a time for me to meet him and teach him how to play. Apparently, he had went and looked up how to play basically beforehand, but came in with I brought one of the official demo kits from Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
I have in my possession a full demo kit. Don't ask me how. I just do. So I used an official demo kit with the rules and everything. To help teach us guy to play. And I think overall, I found the demo kit to be pretty useful in like sequenced cards. But I will say I made some modifications on the fly that helped me explain more in a less like in not as drawn out. So like I realized he was understanding what I was putting out, and it was a good pace, but I was like, well, there's like 2 more pages of this before we even get to like the next thing, and he's like learned the game. So we did stuff tiny bit different towards the end, but he asked me questions and he comprehended everything I was telling him, and he was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. So I was like, well, if you want to play a real game, I'll go crack a starter deck and we'll play starter decks. Kind of. I cheated. I bought a challenger deck.
Wow, that makes sense. You have to be the teacher. You have to win.
I do.
Does it look really bad if you lose?
I do. Yeah. So I bought a challenger deck. I needed to buy one anyway because I don't have any of the lower deck stuff.
Which one did you buy?
Sam Rutherford.
And what deck did he buy?
He had the bow starter deck from Critical Role.
Oh, the new bow one? Yeah.
Which is
that
pretty
art
cool.
For bow is very sick.
That deck actually out of the box is pretty sick. Like he was doing some stuff. Like he took a game off me or almost did. Like it was pretty cool actually. But I actually also pulled in that deck. I pulled the Altar, the Join the Starfleet, Sam Rutherford.
Nice, the good one.
Yeah,
Nice.
So it was pretty cool. But yeah, I taught him how to play, and we played a full game, and we went back, and he comprehended very well on the game. He was asking me questions, and I was kind of like then giving him some of the intermediate tips on like building certain stuff, like when to build, when to hold, like stuff like that, and kind of like trying to guide him through the game. And he seemed to have fun. Unfortunately, works night shift on the night we have locals, so big unfortunate.
Probably never get to play. Yeah.
So, but he did seem excited to kind of play more, to join up one of our group Discords that we use to chat for locals.
So you guys, pretty quickly you ran through the like demo deck. They picked
the official
it up
demo deck, the demo kit.
Yeah, and then we're able to just pick up actual decks and start playing.
Yeah, I feel like it is actually pretty good. I feel like the demo experience is pretty neat. Having to explain actions and assets and backups is a different story, but
yeah,
you obviously can't put everything in the demo kit. It doesn't.
Yeah, it would be too overwhelming. Yeah, like after the demo and everything, Jake went to go get the challenger deck. So I was there and I was talking with the guy, and I believe he got some Critical Role packs, or I think he was actually going through the bow list and saw like an asset and a backup, and he's like, okay, so what are these cards? I was like, yeah, explaining assets and the backups, and also eventually sort of explained actions.
Yeah, you had to explain when it's an asset to back that thing up.
Shut up. So did take a bit of time to also explain the assets and backups, and it seemed like he understood it pretty quickly, like pretty well. And of course I didn't play a game with him, so I don't know how well that translated into gameplay for him, but it seemed to have worked pretty well, or like probably picked up on it pretty well.
And like I said, he had done a little bit of research beforehand and was like came prepped, ready to learn, which is very nice.
I bet that definitely helped.
Yeah,
Yes.
Shout out to him. It was a pleasure playing with him. I hope he continues to play. I'm always down to demo in our local area. We talked to a lot of people about trying to get him into the game, so it's nice when somebody finally takes us up on it. But
A lot of people just say, "Ew."
yeah,
Gross.
not quite.
I don't want to hang out with Jake.
That's fair. A lot of people say that, but
I say that every day.
A lot of people
I know,
walk
right?
up. That's not true.
I say that every day.
Prove it.
Prove it. Say it right now.
Say right now.
I don't want to hang out with Jake.
Say
got ya.
psych right now.
No.
I mean, new players are like vital to keep the game alive. So I appreciate that Universus is making it a little easier. I'm guessing they didn't have demo decks before the My Hero ones. Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe
Probably
they just weren't as accessible.
who
But
knows?
yeah, I appreciate like the new player outreach they're doing. I know UVS is showing up at a lot of like conventions and doing demos. They were at like PAX. They were at Level Up Expo, obviously, and like it's like I said,
I taught at a random San Antonio expo.
Yeah, like it's really important to get new players into the game because as much as we love the old heads, like we want to expand.
Old
For
heads. Is it my turn to glaze Tim Keefe?
No.
Anyway, some different experiences, but I think we would all agree game can be a little rough to get into. So anything to make it easier for new players is good in my book. But I want to wrap this up by asking everybody rapid fire questions. I'm going to ask you what your very first deck was and what your current favorite deck to play is. Doesn't matter if it's legal or not, but like your all-time favorite deck. So I'm going to start with Jake. First deck, all-time favorite deck.
First deck, the Spike, a modified Spike deck using the Spike leader from the 2-player starter. I absolutely adore that leader character. The art on that card is phenomenal. It's everything I want a character to be and more. It is beautiful, and it's one of the main reasons why I'm so sad that the current standard legal Spike is not good. At least not in a way that makes sense. I thought he was going to be good when we got Outwit, but he can play like one Outwit card on his symbols, which kind of cringe. Favorite deck of all time.
Yeah, I feel like that one's like very hard. It's
No,
very hard
Deku
for me.
Deku 1 I played a lot of. I had a blast playing Deku 1. I love ditching my hand to try to kill somebody just for it to not work out and then lose.
Who needs these cards when I can just have this fist?
It also has been really funny when somebody's like not realize what Deku 1 does and then they overextend or something just a little bit and you're just like, buddy, I'll discard my hand.
Oops.
Yo, what?
Discard my hand, you're dead.
So Deku 1, definitely one of my favorite like leader cards. I would probably say my favorite deck of all time, Deku 1. I've played most of the Dekus in like some form, fashion, shape. And I've played I like Hawks a lot. Hawks is like one of my current standard go-tos when I'm like trying to pivot onto something last minute or like reinvent or change. Hawks is like my boy. So it'd have to be Deku 1 or Hawks, and I'm not gonna be able to choose.
All right, that's fair.
I'm gonna say Deku 1 because I collect Dekus.
Okay, understandable. Andrew, what about you?
So my very first deck was Rando from the first Yu Yu Hakusho set. Basically, his form, I think Toya Setsuno from Undaunted Raid. That form, but better.
But good.
And also had the ability to spend a momentum to give my attack 1/1, and if my opponent was in desperation, meaning less than half max health, my checks got +1, and that was not a once per turn. and Rando had cards to force my opponent in desperation. So if I had the momentum, and he had chaos, I believe. No, he was. Yes, it was chaos. It was all evil chaos. It was all chaos evil. So you could, and especially around that time, like there were cards to get momentum. So when I had the setup, I remember playing against someone, and I was like, yeah, I'll spend a momentum. My attacks are now 5/5, and my checks are +5. You're going to die. it was so sick. Like that character is a lot of fun to play.
Oh yeah, it was till the end of the turn, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So if I kept it going, like I said, there was a time I got it to like 5. I was like, yeah, my attacks are 5/5 and my checks are +5. I'm allowed to play any attack I freaking want. This is great. So that was very fun. And honestly would be in contention for like one of my favorite decks I've ever played. But oh man, it's really hard for me to like pick my definitive like favorite deck. I really liked playing Ida 1, and if I had the opportunity to actually, I mean, I could play him in retro, but standard, like while he was standard legal, I like played him a good while for like the first 3-4 sets of my hero. I kept playing the character. He was so cool, so fun. And I was not as good at the game as I am now. I mean, I'm still not good, but like I've gotten better, but I feel like I couldn't really crack his potential that I probably could do now. And if I had the opportunity to do it in standard, I definitely would try again. Like Ito 1 was such a cool character to me. I also just wish we had more kicks, but that's a different discussion. So I think I would say Ito 1, like playing Ito 1 on order, just having all these like it was a mid-range package, like a mid-range deck that could go wide if I needed to kill somebody, and it felt so good. Just sitting here making my opponent just think and sweat while they're trying to kill me, and I just say, "Yeah, this attack's fast. Yeah, this attack's fast." Like picking whatever attack I want and go, "Yeah, it's fast." And or just being like, "I know you want to do your cool thing, but I'm gonna go first. I know it's your attack, but I'm going first." Doing a lot of that. Like the character was just so cool.
All right, what about you, Brian? Let's hear it.
So I guess the first deck I played, like that was my own cards, was Ochako 2. Obviously, I really like that character. I played it a lot. Everybody who knows me from the game basically knows that I played that character all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I iterated on that deck a million times. It was a lot of fun. And she's probably my favorite character. That deck was cool. My favorite deck, though, right now, though, is probably Hiei. Hiei is fun.
Yeah, freaking new Hiei is deceptively
Hiei
annoying.
Yeah, Hiei Dragon Within is like I played it at locals today. I'm working on a list. Making people reblock is so funny. Every time I do it, and then watching people go, "Huh? How do I play the game now?" That is my favorite thing in this game. Is just going, I put down this character, and then a bunch of people have to go, I have no idea what that character does. Or they go, oh, I have to completely change the way I play the game.
I'm not allowed to block with my cool cards first.
Yeah, like I can't do this, I gotta do this or do this.
Which is what really sucks playing into Hiei, because you want to block with your cool stuff, but Hiei just says, nah, get it out of here and try again. And it's like, okay, but that was my cool block. I don't have anything else. Cool, I guess you're taking damage.
He also gets to kind of cheat the whole, like, you block with your not cool card so that I kick it, and then you can block with the cool one, and then I just don't kick it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
you're like I have to block with my bad ones first, and the off chance he decides to kick it, and I'm like, cool. Now I can use my cool block. But there's no guarantee because he can't just sit there and like, especially after you check bad and you have to pay for the block, and you go, nah, that's fine. You paid the toll. You're good.
It's just a whole lot of that where it's like, I'll let it happen. You blocked me. We'll play this one. Now you still have. We get to play the game again. Like, do you block with the cool one, or do you only have the cool one now? Because if you only have one card in hand, you're taking at least Brennan.
Yeah, let's what about I don't have to ask, but I'm gonna anyway. James, what is it?
First deck ever
Mhm.
was Asui. First
Yeah,
deck
but
that
the
was
first
mine
deck,
was Tokoyami. Best deck ever is honestly it's Eraserhead at the top, but then Eraserhead 1. But then like honestly, I fell in love with that Tokoyami list. I actually once the Chaos version got a lot better, I swapped that over and that became one of my favorite decks alongside Death Bakugo 1.
Yes,
Like those
Bakugo.
are like my MHA Holy Trinity is like Eraserhead 1, Bakugo 1, and Tokoyami 1. Like that it just
Bakugo.
all right, Steph. You're up.
I am up, and I might surprise you guys with this one. I just
Got it.
might. I just might. My first ever deck. I think we already talked about it. I think it was Shigaraki. I don't think I played anyone before him. It's because I'm an edgelord at heart. Shigaraki's super edgy. Listen. It's that simple. I see
True.
white-haired anime boy. I play him. That's it.
Play white-haired anime boy.
I play him. And then my
Fair.
favorite deck. You might be thinking she's gonna say Godzilla. I'm saying you're wrong. Can anyone guess what my actual answer is?
Bakugo 4.
Gojira.
It's Bakugo 4. I played him again like a couple days ago. I don't think he's very good right now. Not the way that I and James tried to build
Want to
him,
play
not
him.
yet.
Mhm.
But he's so fun. The way he plays is so fun. I love that deck. Like I love like ripping cards out of people's hands. Like I love that I'm like I really don't care what foundations you have, and I don't want to read them because you don't have cards in your hand, so it doesn't matter. That's great.
Yeah, I played with the character their previous store scramble just because I didn't have really anything put together for the scramble. What I plan on playing, still sort of working on, and don't really have the cards for it. So I was just kind of like, I don't know what to really play. And then James was like, I have Bakugo 4 if you want to play. If you want to play him, I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And just playing with the character, like the character is very cool. I like hand destruction. I like trying to kill my opponent. It's also very funny to just say, you made my attack weaker. Lol, you did not. It's better now. It's stronger.
Yeah.
Now rip that card out of your hand and take this damage, you freaking Dorcas.
Hell yeah.
So the character is very cool. I agree. And it is a little rough for the character right now, I feel like, because there's a good amount of draw.
But we'll be back. We'll be back. We'll always be back. So that all about cover our Yap session for today. We covered like Titan reveals, non-Titan reveals, talked a little bit about our first time experiences. Let us know in the comments what you think about the reveals, what your first time experiences were like, what you think it's like for new players coming in, and kind of just your take on the whole situation. I have been Steph. I'm sick, so I don't have to do an outro.
I've been Jake. I'm asleep, so I don't have to do an outro.
Andrew, who's this guy walking in with swords?
Brian, what really is an outro?
I'm James. I'm just the other guy.
It's not that.